What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Black Market. Wanted to get a quick review in tonight. Wanted to go over some crypto and some of my holdings, and just talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the other cryptocurrencies I invest in, and just kind of what's going on right now. Definitely, as of late, there's been a pullback in the market. There's a lot of panic. People's kind of freaking out when it comes to the cryptocurrencies investment. So I wanted to pull up Bitcoin futures. So I'm on Thinkorswim. This is a Bitcoin futures chart, and I've got up a couple of moving averages. Once again, like always, got up the young 21 EMA and the 100. So the green line is 100, and then the 21 is the red line. The green line is a simple moving average, so it's an SMA, and then the 21 is an exponential moving average, so it's an EMA. Volume chart ATR, which really I probably won't talk about the ATR at all, but just the average true range chart. And then I got the squeeze. So a couple things to note here. These dotted green lines is just kind of levels of support and resistance, and zones I've actually traded and bought and sold Bitcoin at. So these are just zones. So you can see here, one thing to look at this bottom dotted line right here. You're around about 30,900 or so. If you Let me just kind of magnify this. If you go in and look, you'll see right where these candles are hitting at. Um, that's a solid, and you can see here these wicks hit that line too. So really, right at 30,900 is a really key support level for Bitcoin. And then you can see the second line where we were at here. The second line was around 39,000, and you can see we've basically went back and forth as of late between that $39,000 and that $30,000. So you can see right here we're essentially in a squeeze. So the squeeze can work one of two ways, right? We can continue to squeeze and break out of the squeeze and head back up to all-time highs for Bitcoin, or if we get near support and we're still in that squeeze and the market still shows weakness, that squeeze can fire and go south. So a couple of things to look at. We're definitely at that key support area, right? You can see we're going up. Once it comes back down to 30,900 or so, 31,000, and we're holding support there. And then as of late, right, those wicks have really went right back to that kind of home base for Bitcoin. But if we fall below there, one thing you want to look at is gaps. I always like to look at gaps on daily charts to see where there's levels that we may fill. And you can see here, we've got definitely a gap here from 23,000 up to about 26. So if we do go south, we could see levels around 23,000 to where Bitcoin's going to come down and fill that gap. Or there's a tiny gap right here that we may get down to, which I don't think we'll get down to 18,000, but we may get down and fill that gap. But you can definitely see that there's a decent sized gap here that we could, Bitcoin could see that $23,000 level, which would make sense if it was filling that gap. Or like I said, we could definitely we can definitely go back up. And the thing I've noticed too is when stocks do fill gaps, there's a couple different ways they can fill that. They could go down to the gap, so Bitcoin could come down here. This crypto can come down here, and it could stay right here, right base, right around that $23,000 level, and then start heading back up towards all time highs. Or it could have something like a flash crash and go down in a matter of minutes, hours, boom, hit that $23,000 level, and then come back up and close, above 31, and it's filled the gap, and then we're off to the races back into the upside. So, anything can really happen, but just something to be cognizant of. If we look at ETH, so if we look at Ethereum, the interesting thing about Ethereum, if we look back on the chart here, really there's really no gaps. You can see right once it started getting above that 21 EMA, it started taking off once it based a bit. Now we're definitely well back below there, and we're really back at a key level, right? We're around that $18,000 level, 19 sorry, around that $19,000 level, 19,040, or sorry, 1940, my bad. So that's a key level for Ethereum, and you can see right here it's squeezed. It had some um, alleviation of selling pressure. Then we had it still in the squeeze. We had selling pressure come in, and now we had it fired with selling pressure. So we could easily see that drop back down below that support level. But we'll see if we pull up. Another thing I like to look at is the Keltner channels. So if we pull up the Kelts, you can see here really, it's went down below that midpoint. It's about two ATRs or two average right true ranges from that midpoint. So, and once it gets there, you can see where it starts to kind of come back up. So we could definitely see a good bounce in Ethereum back up to that midpoint. And then if we can hold above the 21, then we can be off to the races back up to all-time highs. But we'll see. Let me take a peek at the cloud, see if there's anything we can. Not really. There's really not much we can tell. Looking at the Ikimoku. So let's go back to the 21 and go from here. So real quick, I wanted to go over to my trading view on my Brave browser and talk about some of the stocks or some of the cryptos. So we got BTC up here. Um, so here is some of the cryptos I've actually invested in. So we got BTC, of course, um, and you can see, right? We were if we go back to BTC, we were at that 30,000, right? $900 level, $31,000 level, and you can see where it bounced previously and how it's been bouncing. So if we go back to Trading View, you can see right we was right down around that $31,000 level, and you can see look a major bounce has came in, right? A major bounce in Bitcoins came in. Just basically confirmation for that's that key support level we just went over in the Thinkorswim. So here's Bitcoin. Definitely, obviously, own some Bitcoin. Bought a little bit today. I actually bought on this candle. I bought it right around here, so right around that low. If you look at CRO, CRO is another one. So Crypto.com is another one. I bought once again. I bought around that right around that 9 cent level today. Dot is another homie. I bought Dot around. I think I had bought Dot around about $15. Um, $15 today. So I bought really on that second drop. Um, ETH, of course, bought some more ETH today. I pretty much bought all these around that second candle. Matic is another one I invested in. Bought some Matic. I didn't quite buy Matic. Uh, yeah, I think I bought Matic around that lower level. I might even bought a little bit higher. I think around the 120 mark or so. So I bought some Matic. So I bought it right up here. Um, RSR, I own a ton of RSR. I bought RSR around that 2 cent level, so I bought way down. Bought way down here today. So just kind of been watching these, right, um, and seeing if they're good investments or not, and if they're good, well, not necessarily good investments, but just key levels to buy at. Another thing I wanted to show you. Uh, hmm, I don't know if I have it on here. Let me look real quick. No, it's not it. History. Okay, so this is the fear and greed index. So there's a number of different factors that go into this, but this is the fear and greed index. Um, and essentially, you know, the lowest I've seen this was like a 16, which means there was definitely fear in the market. You can see last week is at a 38. Now it's at a 10, which is crazy. But like they always say in investing, right? Be greedy when people are fearful, and be fearful when have like they always say, if people. So this is the fear and greed index, and there's a number of factors that go into this, and they measure obviously the fear or the greed in the crypto market, and then it's basically put into this chart, um, or put into this scale, right? So, like they've always said in the past, and like they always say with investing, right? If people's greedy, right, you want to have fear, right? You want to be fearful to a certain extent. But then when people have extreme fear or they're fearful, you want to be greedy. So right now, in my opinion, right, we've got extreme fear. You probably want to be investing in crypto, finding out some key levels at which these cryptos are at, and buying in. Like I said, the lowest I've ever seen this is a 16, and it's at a 10 now, which is crazy. So uh, definitely, definitely, just another thing you can look at, another metric you can look at when investing in the crypto market. So, anyways, that's all I got for tonight. Just wanted to go over some crypto stuff, some crypto metrics, and we will talk with you later.